Hello and welcome to Let's Talk Sports. I am Ralph Labella.
And I'm Ron Sen. First, it's World Cup time for all you American soccer fans, and it's an all-Europe final with Belgium and France on one side and Croatia and England playing on the other side. Most of you do not know how to pronounce Kylian Mbappe, the French striker who scored over 50 goals before age 20 when Ronaldo and Messi had not even scored 20. So we'll see how that works out. It's an incredible performance by the young Frenchman, and there's a lot of exciting action. It was very surprising to me that Croatia was able to beat Russia on the Russians' home turf in penalty kicks. I just thought that the pressure on Croatia was going to be really high, but maybe it was even higher on Russia.
What happened to Giselle's team?
Yeah, it's interesting. Some of the big favorites, Brazil went out pretty early. Messi's Argentina squad went out early. Germany, the defending champion, got knocked out in the preliminary round.
South Korea, right? Knocked them out of the tournament.
Yeah, so it just goes to show that in international play, just like local, that anything can happen. It's kind of interesting in the World Under-17 Championships, the U.S. won, as they almost always do, with Coach Don Showalter, and they were talking about how great the U.S. team was and what the great coaching and drilling, and then people said, well, how good were they? And they said, well, in the final game, they shot 65% from the free throw line and 26% from three-pointers. And for the tournament, they were 26% averaging on three-pointers. So maybe they're not statistically as good. I'm sure they had, a lot of outstanding athletes, but it was enough to beat the world. Now, I wanted to give a shout out to Melrose resident Lila Drafts Johnson, who won the national 400-meter hurdles championship at Oberlin College. And there's a profile of her on their website, and it's interesting. She talked about her experience at Melrose, and specifically what the best piece of advice was she ever got. And apparently, athletic director and then health teacher Steve Fogarty said, always look people in the eye and let them know that you're interested in how you feel about them. And she said that's what she always brought forward with her. So it's important for you younger athletes to, especially when you interface with adults, your coaches, and potentially recruiters, be upfront, be yourself. Authenticity is great, but also make sure you have a firm handshake and a good look in the eye.
What division was that?
I think that was 3.
Division 3?
Right.
And she ran at Melrose High?
She ran at Melrose High, and then she was national champion at Oberlin.
What did she do at Melrose High?
I'm sure she ran track there.
Did she win state championship?
I don't know if she won the state.
I never heard of her.
Yeah, I know she was. I know she was really good in cross country, but it's sort of like Olivia Downey. I know that she was the state champion here, and then she had a successful track career at Merrimack. So we've been lucky in that way. Baseball season is over the halfway mark, and so far it's been really uneven. There's very few good teams. I mean, in the American League, there's really only 5 good teams: the Red Sox and Yankees, Cleveland, and Houston and Seattle. So 2 teams that are, it's either going to be one of the Red Sox and Yankees or one of the Astros and Seattle in the play-in game.
It's funny, Ron, in all the years, baseball's always been my #1 sport. I love baseball. But this year, it's been tough.
Well,
it's been tough to follow. I'm a Yankee fan, and I like watching the Red Sox, too. Boy, they're not even enjoyable games.
Well, a big part of the problem is what they call the excess amount of true outcomes. True outcomes are walks, strikeouts, and home runs. That is, plays that there's nobody on the defense that's involved. So the other night, Kansas City walked 13 Red Sox guys. It's not fun to watch that. It's just walking, and it's nice to win, but it's not good baseball. The Red Sox were ahead 8-4 in the 9th inning, and they got 7 runs on Little League baseball.
I've watched both teams, and again, I'm a big Yankee fan. I love watching the Red Sox lose, but I like watching them play. I don't mind them winning as much as I did years ago, but I watch the games, and to me, the Red Sox are going to win. I'd say by about 5 to 7 games. They'll beat the Yankees out. And I told you, one of my friends, he's 92, he's a lawyer where I work, and he's a huge Red Sox fan. And I said, he worries all the time. I said, Andy, here's the key. Number one, the Red Sox have better starters than the Yankees have. Their closers are about even. But I said, the Red Sox make more contact than the Yankees make. I mean, you watch the Yankees games, and they're really boring at times. Judge may hit a home run with no one on base. Stan may hit a home run. But a lot of games you're watching Judge strike out twice, Stanton strike out twice. You're watching pop-ups. They're not exciting. You watch a Red Sox game, Martinez is hitting a shot to the gap. Betts is scoring from first. Benintendi's getting on base. They have players that make better connection than the Yankees do.
It was interesting. I was talking to a fellow who used to be a batting practice pitcher for the Red Sox. He's a big lefty. And he and I said, how would you pitch Martinez? And I said, I wouldn't pitch him outside because he'd no way I want him to get his arms extended. I just pound him inside and make him hit it that way. Judge has great power to the opposite field, but he doesn't specifically try to hit everything to the opposite field. But Martinez looks like he'd rather hit it to right field.
Well, Martinez right now is the best hitter in baseball. He was one of the top hitters in baseball last year, too. Difference between Stanton and him, his average is always higher. So he's making better contact. When I'm talking about, you got men on base, contact, maybe a sacrifice fly, maybe get a run into third. Yankees, when Judge gets up, when Stan gets up, when Sanchez gets up, even though he's in the DH, they'll have a guy in second base. A lot of times they'll strike out. They won't move the runner. They won't hit the ball. And again, with Betts, Benintendi, Martinez, and Moreland also makes connection, pretty good connection. When you have guys like that, that's going to be, I'm telling you, that's the difference between the Red Sox and Yankees.
Well, it's going to be interesting because in a couple of years, the Red Sox, the bills are going to come due. And, I think they'll probably let Bogarts go. I don't see them paying $20 million. I'm not saying he's worth $20 million, but he might be able to get $20 million. And Betts is certainly going to cash in big time. He's, along with, whenever Judge must have 4 more years to get the free agency. But, Harper at the end of the season, although Harper's hitting .215, and he's got 21 home runs, but he just strikes out an awful lot.
He's on a tough team, though. They're not, he doesn't see many good pitches, and that pitch they threw to him, I don't know who the Red Sox pitcher was, that he hit about 450 feet. One, he connected. But you look at the Red Sox, and they're going to have to give Betts $30 million anyway.
Oh, at least.
They're going to have to give Benintendi in the $25 million by the time, because he's going to be a superstar, too. I think he's going to be one of the best hitters in baseball. Martinez in 2 years.
Yeah, he can opt out.
He's going to opt out.
Why not?
He's going to opt out because he's going to get $30 million for 4 years. $30 million a year. He's going to probably love playing at Fenway because he hits well in Fenway. So, and he loves, that the place is packed almost every game. Not like it used to be, but close. So he's going to love all that. He's going to like playing with Betts, playing for Cora.
Well, it'll be interesting to see when they get down toward the playoffs, because the Red Sox and the Yankees are both going to make the playoffs somehow. And probably, maybe both of them will advance. Who knows? That would be good for us. But in the rotation, obviously, Sale's your number 1 guy. I don't think Price is your number 2 guy. He's been wildly inconsistent. His velocity is down. He's wild in the strike zone. He was pitching home run derby to the Yankees.
But it's a mental thing with him, I think. Plus, I think the reason why he's not good in the playoffs is because he throws over 200 innings a year. The only year he didn't was last year when he was hurt, and he pitched well in the bullpen for the Red Sox. But people say that he chokes in the playoffs. There are a lot of pitchers. Look at the pitcher for the LA Dodgers. What's Kershaw? Last year when he had a 4-run lead. When he blows the game, a big, huge game. Wasn't that the championship game? That he blew the 4-run lead, or one of them. But that's what happens to Price.
I think what killed the Red Sox, obviously they made some terrible signings. Ramirez, we don't. there must be some other issue behind the scenes because nobody else is picking him up for free. I mean, they can sign him at the minimum the Red Sox pay his contract, and there are teams that could use a bat.
They're saying he doesn't want to play.
Well,
he wants to collect his money and stay at home.
Okay, that's okay too.
Yeah.
And then they're still paying Sandoval, and the price contract is way high, especially when you consider they could have offered Lester reasonable money instead of trying to lowball him. And Lester's one of the top pitchers in the National League now, still, who's been very successful there and helped bring a World Series. But instead, we don't really know. A lot of the blame was put on Larry Lucchino. Whether that's fair or not, I don't know. But
and the fans loved him too, and they go get this guy here. After this year, they still owe him $127 million, something like that.
Yeah, a lot of money. But Porcello's, it's the odd or the even year, so he's pitching okay. Although I think his contract might expire next year too. And then Eduardo Rodriguez has actually been pretty good. He only gives you six innings because he's not that economical as far as his pitches, but he's got 3 good pitches, and I think I don't know if he'll ever be an ace, but he'd probably be a number 2 for somebody.
I think he's going to get better and better. In a year or two, he's going to be one of the best pitchers in baseball. He's still learning.
But
he drives the fans crazy because he takes all day, and he a lot of balls he throws. But he has the talent.
But Severino's been great for the Yankees.
Yeah.
He was fantastic against the Red Sox. You could sort of tell from the beginning he was just really on.
Well, the Yankees, with their pitching, they need Tanaka back, pitching like he did at the end of last year. Sabatia's been pitching strong for them. Gray's killing them.
Was the reliever hurt the other day?
Yeah, he hurt his knee. He's been having problems anyway. He didn't pitch yesterday. Robinson finished yesterday when they won 2-1 in 10 innings.
And Betances has been better.
He's been pitching real good.
So
he'll probably be the closer until Chapman comes back.
Yeah, I mean, it's Chapman's incredible how his arm holds together. He just throws so hard.
He's throwing consistently 103. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. But and then the Red Sox, you have to wonder, is Dustin Pedroia done? I mean, he's had surgery. I'm sure he's had multiple platelet-rich plasma injections trying to calm down the inflammation. I mean, there's not a lot of sign that he's making progress.
You're going to see him next year as one of the best second basemen in baseball again. He's just that, when he gets hit, he's going to get healthy. Nowadays,
I don't know. Not everybody gets healthy. So
maybe just let him sit out the rest of the year. Who knows? He might come back.
And then Christian Vasquez had surgery today, and supposedly he's going to be out 6 to 8 weeks with a broken finger. And then part of that is he doesn't really protect that meat hand very well. You see a lot of catchers put the hand behind their back or at least behind the shin guard, and he just doesn't do that. So maybe he's going to change.
Those catchers take a beating, though.
Oh.
I was watching a game the other day, and the catcher completely missed the ball, and it hit knocked him, just about knocked him out. The umpire went down.
Yeah, I only caught one game in my life, and I was lucky I didn't really get any damage. But
what's the one thing that aggravates me the most about baseball that I've been talking about for years? The biggest problem in baseball is the outside corner.
Oh.
You watching those games, it's unbelievable because the umpire's over the inside corner. I mean, you're seeing pitches, and guys are getting thrown out of the game. I mean, the pitches are 2-3 inches off the corner, and they're calling them strikes.
Well, remember when Glavine and Maddox would throw it 4 inches off the corner?
Glavine would keep throwing it until the umpire called it a strike.
It's true. If you could just keep putting it there, well, it must be a strike. That's where you wanted to throw it. So anyway, I think the Red Sox-Yankees battle will go right down to the last series. I think it's at Fenway. The Yankees come to Fenway, and the Yankees have a formidable lineup. The young players have been really coming along. Torres made the All-Star team, right?
I don't know if he's going to be back for it. He's on the disabled list.
Okay.
He's on the disabled list with his hip.
Yeah, Hicks has been hitting really well.
Yeah, Andujar's hitting good.
Yeah.
Sanchez has been out. I don't know if they're going to. What I would do, because I think Sanchez is a head case, like Soriano used to be for the Yankees, he just constantly goes after low outside pitches with 2 strikes. And the pitchers know that now, and they're constantly doing. He's constantly swinging. If you can get a top-notch pitcher for Sanchez and maybe one of the starters in the minor league, I think I would do it now. I mean, if he's a good hitter, Sanchez, when he's swinging at strikes, but he just chases constantly.
Well, the Red Sox, probably it's amazing they score the runs they do when you look at the bottom of the lineup.
Yeah.
Bradley hitting 200, the catchers, when Swihart's in there, he's hitting 175, but he's pretty much useless. Maybe his experiment in the outfield did him in, but the Red Sox, they want to trade him to get something, but other teams are probably saying, good, he's a utility fielder who can play all over but he can't hit.
Yeah, when you have probably 2 of the top 3 hitters in all of baseball, or at least 2 of the 5 best hitters in all of baseball, that helps with Betts and Martinez. And then you got Benintendi, who's going to be one. He's going to be unbelievable. You can see he's just going to get better and better. Isn't that guy Pierce they just picked?
Yeah, Pierce
he's a good hitter.
Yeah, he's decent.
And Moreland's a heck of a hitter now.
Yeah, he made the All-Star team.
He hit into a double play yesterday. They had first and second with 1 out. He hit a bullet between the first and second baseman. The second baseman went over, just got it, turned it into 2. But then he got it. I like Moreland.
Oh, I don't remember who it was, but I had a patient who works for the Red Sox who said Moreland is just a great guy. I mean, as whatever he is as a baseball player, he's a great guy. He's a real leader, class guy.
They gave him a standing ovation yesterday when he was picked for the All-Stars. He made the All-Star team.
In Kansas City, or who gave him the standing?
No, the Red Sox in the dugout.
Okay.
When the Cora announced it, they clapped for all the other players, and then when he mentioned Moreland, I guess he was the last name. All the players went nuts.
Oh, it was his first time.
And they like him because he works so hard.
Yeah,
I like him. I like watching him.
And beyond that, the immediate problem for the team, the organization is this is Kimbrel's contract year, so and they have nobody in the wings to replace him, and he's probably going to get close to $20 million.
What are they paying him now?
I think he's at 13. So that's,
they got to give him the money. With this team they have now, you got to give him the money.
Well, if
they lose him.
Right. I mean, you really absolutely need to have a standout closer. And whatever it is, it's the mentality that you can go out there and you don't worry about anything except getting the guy out. Whereas a lot of guys, they go into that role and they're thinking too much, I guess. So.
Oh, he's terrific. He's right there with Chapman and that guy from Seattle.
Oh, Diaz. Yeah, so that's really Dombrowski's number one need. And we'll see. Thornburg has come back. I mean, he looked like he was throwing the ball okay. He's getting the fastball up there around 94. And then Carson Smith, we may never see him again. No. It's the glove-throwing pitcher who threw his arm out throwing his glove. Anyway, we'll be right back. I don't know about you, Ralph, but I like watching the Summer League, which is really sad.
I'm taping it tonight.
Oh, all right, so you're pitiful too. The Celtics do not have a very good Summer League team. Jabari Bird has been interesting, but again, it's Summer League. A guy could score 50. It's still the Summer League. It doesn't mean anything.
I like Bird a lot. I think he's the one guy. If you're looking at it, I really feel you're going to think I'm crazy that Bird this year is a lottery pick. He's as good as, to me, he's right there with the point guard from, is it Alabama that Cleveland got in the 8th round?
Not Zaire Smith. Yeah. But what Bird can do is, like Bradley, he's really good cutting around the basket, and he's very athletic. He's very good at taking the ball to the hoop, and he's got an okay shot, which it's not terrible, but it's better than Smart, somebody like that.
Well, I think he's going to be the player that I think Nate is a free agent.
Yeah, Nader's gone.
So he'll be playing. He'll be dressed a lot for the games this year.
Well, he's not signed right now. So
he'll probably be playing up and down, but he'll be playing a lot up. I mean, I can see the Celtics signing him. And then Williams looked good in the first game. I saw him.
Well, I mean,
then he got hurt.
If you just think at the guards, they've got Kyrie Irving for this year anyway. Rozier, we don't know about Smart, but it's looking like he'll be back. Wanamaker, and then maybe Bird will be the 5th guy. So, and then Yabusele's been not so great. He's got a I think it's $3.1 million bonus due September 1st. So he's going to have to get something rolling to get
He's
that
gone.
to get that money.
He's gone. They're not going to give him that.
I don't,
Especially with it's Williams, right?
Yeah,
Well,
Williams.
With Williams, you got Williams now. You got Tice is already signed, right?
Yeah, Tice
Tice
is-
is signed. You have Baines, you have Horford,
Horford.
and you have Williams. Williams will be playing up and down probably.
Yeah, and especially when they're playing at most, it's not really 4 and 5. Stevens divides it among guards, wings, and bigs. So you're never going to have more than 2 of those guys in, and a lot of times they only have 1.
What are you going to do with Morris? Does Morris
Well,
have 1 more year left?
He's got 1 year on his contract, but I think he's going to get traded. The question is, what are they going to package him
Because
with?
he's not going to be happy,
No, he's not going to get the minutes.
you know. And I know you got, well, Tatum up front with Hayward. They're going to be getting 30-something minutes each. So you slip maybe Tice down there to get some minutes at times, you know. And then I tell you though, I really like Bird. You know, I was hoping for the Celtics' sake for the future that that Smart got signed by another team.
Mm-hmm. It's still vaguely
You know,
possible.
but what's going to happen is the Celtics he's going to play out. He's going to have that 1-year contract for $6-point-something million. No one's going to give him an offer. The Celtics aren't going to give him any more unless they agree to a contract that's worth $32 million for 4 years, $8 million a year.
I think
he's not going to like that.
I think they'd probably be willing to pay him 10 for 3 years of 10. The problem for Smart is he's going to compare himself and say, well, Evan Turner got, $70 million for 4 years, or Zach LaVine got $80 million for 4 years. Well, it doesn't really matter what other guys get. They have different roles than what you have.
And what his agent should tell him, listen, you signed the tender. I think he already did, right? Or you signed it.
He will.
You sign that, you get $6-point-some million. All right? Then you become an unrestricted free agent next year,
Right.
and there's going to be more money. That's what they're saying. There's
Right.
going to be more money. The Celtics go to the finals, and you're a big part of it, you're going to get your contract from another team. The Celtics will try to match. But here's the reason why I want him to go. I think Stevens, I know Stevens loves him, okay? But what it's going to do, it's going to hurt the Celtics because Stevens loves him so much. Smart should be a 15 to 20-minute player on this Celtic team. And Stevens was playing him 30 minutes because Hayward and Kyrie weren't there. Now, he's not going to be happy, Smart, playing 15 minutes a game.
Well, if you're a bad team, Smart can't do anything for you.
No.
If you're a mediocre team, Smart can't
No.
do anything for you. So a team that is really good and they need a little bit more, he can do something for, but you're not going to pay a guy like that $15 million a year because he's not. It's hard to change the game as much defensively as you can offensively, even though he has a role.
And here's another problem, too. I was thinking, all right, if Morris goes, that opens up minutes. So now Smart would fit in well with that team. Okay, now Tatum, you have Hayward up front, the 3 and the 4 a lot. You're going to slide Horford down there at times, Tice down there at times to take some minutes. So that would be fine. So now you got your minutes, Horford, Baines playing together, Horford, Tice playing together at times, so that the 32 minutes that you're going to have free because of when you're giving rest to Tatum and Hayward, now they would go to the bigger guys. So I was thinking maybe Smart will take some of those minutes, but now you don't have the big guy at the 4. But if he doesn't take some of those minutes, what are you going to do with guard?
Well,
With him and Rozier.
Yeah, the other thing about Smart that is difficult is the way he plays. He's going to get hurt. It's just the nature of, now some of his injury obviously was from punching the glass frame, but part of it was he dove on the floor and hurt his thumb, was out for 6 weeks. That's stuff that happens when you play the way he does.
But another thing too, Ron, at the end of the game, Smart's always in there with Stevens.
Right.
Now you got Hayward, Tatum up front. You got Brown playing the
Right.
2. You got Kyrie at the 1. Smart shouldn't be in there.
Well, yeah. Do you go to Kyrie and say, Kyrie, you've been playing at 26, 27 a game with 5 assists. You know, we got other talented guys around you. Would it be possible for you to go 21-9, and we would consider you even more valuable?
Well, we talked about that last show. I said for the Celtics to make it to the championship and contend with Golden State, he's got to become a 10-assist player. If he becomes a 10-assist player with the Celtics, no one's going to beat him. They would even be able to battle Golden State then. Because you got a guy getting 10 assists who can score from the 3. He's going to have his 30-point games, even though he's got all those other stars with him. He's going to have the big games when they need him to. But if he can get those 10 assists a game, who's going to beat them?
Well, obviously people are saying Golden State is unbeatable because now they have DeMarcus Cousins. Well, first of all, Cousins is coming off a serious injury with Achilles, and it's going to delay his return. Most guys after Achilles don't come back to 100%. Now, even 80% Cousins is really good because he's got an outside game too. On the other hand, Cousins isn't the easiest guy in the world to get along with. I mean, maybe that's going to work on the Warriors. Now, Durant took less money because he's got a thriving business empire out there. He may be a billionaire in Silicon Valley because of business connections. So he doesn't need the basketball money.
He wants some money now, though, because he's a free agent.
Well, no, I mean
Durant. You're talking
Durant's
about Durant?
already signed. So
no, he has an out. He's out. He's a free agent now.
no, he
Durant.
signed.
When, recently?
Yeah, he signed a 2-year contract with Golden State.
How much did he get?
I think it was 31 a year.
So he could have got 40.
Yeah, so he took less money, but you know, I've been reading about him. He's got all these business connections out there, and he's going to make his money outside, away from the game. And then who's Green and Thompson are both free agents at the end of the season.
They think Thompson's going to end up going.
Yeah.
How are they going to give him the 30? He's going to make 30-something million with another team for 5 years or whatever. You know, 150 million. He's going to stay with Golden State after winning 40.
And they're probably going to be sorry they paid that much because.
But you know the problem they're going to have with Cousins? When Cousins is in the game, okay, forget his scoring, 25 points. That means nothing with Golden State.
Right.
Because if he's going to get his 25 points, Durant's not going to get his points, and Curry's not going to get his points, and Thompson's not going to get their points. They're not going to be too happy. So he's not going to be a 25-point scorer. And he'll be a pretty good rebounder. But when he's in the game, who's sitting out? Iguodala, who's one of the best defensive players in basketball. Yeah. Green, who's one of the best all-around players. Tough, hard-nosed player. Not a big
they have a lot of good players who come in off the bench in roles like Livingston.
Livingston
doesn't play a lot, but he really knows how to play. So now it's one of those good problems for a coach to have too much talent. But I don't think Golden State's too worried. But it remains to be seen how much of an impact Cousins is going to have.
But the Celtics, you're going to think I'm crazy. By mid-season, if they're healthy, people are going to be saying, we can't wait for the Celtics Golden State Finals. Because the Celtics will Kerr had you read the interview from Kerr?
No.
Well, Kerr loves the Celtics. But what other team, and Kerr even said it, matches up with us? Kyrie and Curry, Brown and Thompson, Tatum and Iguodala, Hayward and Durant. That's a matchup. Hayward's a player. He averaged 30 points a game against 2 years ago against Golden State. And you got Horford against Green or Cousins. You look at that matchup, and then the Celtics bench. You know, with Tice coming off the bench, if they have Smart, Rozier coming off the bench.
Well, it'd be fun, that's for sure.
And Baines, no one talks about Baines, is a great matchup for someone like Cousins.
Yeah, Baines was a really key signing. It was, I was in at a brunch the other day. We were meeting Karen's future father-in-law, and
she got engaged?
Yeah, Karen got engaged, and they said, we just passed Aaron Baines on the way in. And we said, what? I said, yeah, his wife looks like she's about ready to pop any day now. And they said, yeah, you're not going to confuse too many other guys who are 6'10" Australians with a man bun. So.
Well, we knew that was coming. Congratulations. I'm happy.
Thank you.
Great kid. And I met her fiance, and he's a great guy. I met him at that walk.
Right.
Super guy.
So anyway, it's pretty exciting for the Celtics to get, presuming that everybody comes back healthy. Now, Irving, when they took out all that hardware that was infected, You still have to be on antibiotics for an extended time, which I'm sure he's off by now. And then after Hayward, they had to take out additional hardware because he was having some soreness from where the plate was in his ankle. So he's not back to full speed yet, but he's getting there. They're saying by training camp they expect him to be.
Here's what I see. I'm at the Celtic game, the 6th game of the finals against Golden State. Celtics are down 3-2. Celtics come back and win game 6 to make it 3-3. The place is going nuts. Players are going nuts. Golden State's nervous now. They're going back home, and the Celtics have our number, and they go back there and they win by 3 points against Golden State for the championship. I can picture that.
Now, I don't know how closely you followed the draft. Was there any team that you said to yourself, wow, they really improved a lot?
Denver got Porter.
Okay.
Denver got Porter at the 14th pick, which is going to be the steal of the century as long as Porter's healthy.
Yeah.
He could be the best player in the whole draft.
Atlanta got Trae Young.
Bad. Forget about that.
We'll see. They got Kevin Huerter, a shooter, in the Klay Thompson mode, and they got Omari Spellman from Villanova, who's that
Spellman's good.
athletic forward, kind of in the Draymond Green mode. So you can see Atlanta's trying to build a Golden State-like program. Now,
Is that Philly? Did Philly traded that pick? Is that the
Philly
one?
Philly traded Bridges for Zaire
Yeah.
Smith, which whatever. Reddick re-signed with Philadelphia for short money.
Yeah, that was weird. He had a good year last year.
To me, the biggest thing that the Celtics did against Philadelphia was they kept Simmons from getting too much penetration. You know how many three-point shots he made this season? 0.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty hard to be a guard in the NBA and make 0 three-pointers.
Baines made more than, what did Baines make, 10 all counting the playoffs?
I don't know. He was good in the playoffs.
But getting back to Kerr, Kerr said he's really impressed with the Celtics. They give him a tough time. He says, I predicted that we could meet them in the finals last year, and it was very close. Kyrie was down. Of course, they lost Hayward, but when I said that, they still had Kyrie. He said the thing that makes the Celtics so strong also, he said they're long like we are, and long teams cause big-time problems. Like when O'Donnell was killing Rozier, Philly, he was going by Rozier every time. Then Stevens made the switch and he put not Brown. Yeah, he put Brown on him at times, but he put Tatum on him. Tatum shut him down because he was so long he couldn't get a shot off. So you're going to see that now.
Yeah, what was really interesting in the playoffs was Brown proved himself that he can shoot. I'm not saying he's an elite shooter yet, but
he's working at his game.
Yeah, he's working at it. And these young guys, they have a lot higher ceiling. If a guy's 22 years old coming out of college, Grayson Allen's probably as good a shooter as he's going to be.
You see Tatum the other day, they're showing him shooting?
Yeah, 19 in a row from 3
But you see how big he is now?
Yeah.
His shoulders? He's going to be, other than LeBron, Durant, and Leonard, if he's healthy, he's the best. I wouldn't take anyone else over him as a 3.
Well, there's all this talk about trading for Kawhi. I don't want Kawhi Leonard.
No.
The guy, he basically quit on his team. He wouldn't let them even have contact with him while he's rehabbing. He wants to go to LA, whether it's the Lakers or the Clippers. Why do you need that headache?
Yeah, but they're thinking that Parker leaving to go to Charlotte may get him back there, may want him to play there because he hated Parker.
Oh, really?
That was one of the big things. Parker spoke out against him when he was hurt.
Well, it'll be interesting to see Parker, just seems like it's like Cal Ripken leaving the Orioles or something.
But know what aggravates you, though, Ron? When people are saying, yeah, I trade Leonard for Kyrie. What are they, stupid? Leonard's a 3. Leonard's a 3. They got 3 players who can match what he's playing. And they don't have another point guard like him.
Yeah, if you look at the 7th game against Cleveland, if they had Kyrie, he can get to the basket.
Oh, they would have won. They would have beat Cleveland easy. They would have beat Cleveland at 6. That 6th game at Cleveland when they were up by 11. And they just fell apart.
Yeah, you need to have guys who can get to the basket.
And Hayward's smarter than Kyrie. They'll run their offense through him a lot, too, because he's great in the half-court offense. People don't realize how good Hayward is. He's right there. I would put him right behind. No, he's better than Butler. He's behind Durant and LeBron, of course. But right after that, I mean, to me, he's the best three
Well,
and four.
a lot depends on, how healthy he is. He looked, when I saw him at practice, he looked really bulked up, at least relative to what I expected.
And that's a good matchup with him and Durant, I'm telling you. Durant is better, but that's a good matchup.
Well,
look at what Leonard did to Durant in that first half.
One of the problems against Durant is you got to cover him out to 26, 27 feet. You can't just let him have that stuff.
He's still going to be good, but
Yeah.
with going up against Hayward, he's going to have a tough time covering Hayward because Hayward's so smart with the ball. And then with Hayward covering him. But the rest of them, the Celtics match up well or a little better.
Well, it's hard not to be excited about the Celtics prospects when you see what they accomplished this year, especially with what they didn't have, not only what they did have. It'll be interesting to see how Robert Williams fits in. I think he's going to get short minutes. I don't see him as being a big impact player.
But those
early
4
on.
minutes he played in that game, boy, he looked good.
He did. When he made that little turnaround, he did a nice little reverse pivot into maybe a 8-9 footer.
But look at how explosive he was on that dunk. He got the ball and he was up there before you knew it. And then that rebound when he went over,
right over the guy.
his elbow was over the rim. He's going to be good, and I think he's going to love playing with Horford there, leading the way, helping him out, and the rest of the players and the coaching staff. He's already said that he loves the situation he's in.
He's in a good situation. He's a young kid. He's got to grow up, and there's plenty of that around. We'll be right back.
So I had this idea for a rant. LeBron James. Easy, right? It's like a piñata at a Mexican festival. But no, I don't want to just talk about what everybody else really talks about. I want to get in a little bit more in depth because I'm aggravated. I'm tired of him. First of all, he's a baby. Second of all, he's a fraud. And third of all, yes, we know he gets more help from the referees than any player I have ever seen in my life in any sport. I get it. Every generation, they want their own greatest of all time. This whole GOAT. It sounds cute, doesn't it? GOAT. I'm personally tired of hearing about how he's the greatest of all time. Because number one, I've never, ever, ever seen in any sport a person create their own dynasty through free agency. Now, I get it. Free agency didn't exist the way it does today in all 4 sports. But you know what? Bobby Orr was the greatest hockey player of all time until Wayne Gretzky came along all time, and then they kind of shared the whole thing. But you know what? Neither one of them built their own dynasty. The dynasty created itself. I mean, this jerk is going over to the Lakers now. This is something he's now done 3 times. He went back to Cleveland. Even last year, they didn't win it all. But you know what? The jerk blew the team up mid-season. You think the owner did that? Do you think the coach did that? Or do you think LeBron did it? Get rid of them, bring me in some new players. I loved watching him lose again because he deserves it. He's a fraud. You don't create your own dynasty. You can't just go to another team. I guess you can because LeBron has made it so that now this will exist in all 4 sports. You have a crybaby whiner that doesn't want to lose, doesn't want to wait to win, and so let me just go to another team and I'll get this one to go. And of course, you had ESPN buy into this whole thing a few years ago with The Decision. Imagine they devoted time to a TV show to show that jerk pick his new team when everybody knew he was going to Miami. And he took 2 other high-profile players with him so that what? We could have a dynasty. Personally, what really aggravates me, honestly, the comparisons to Michael Jordan. Now, for my money, I would take Larry Bird as my greatest of all time, at least from my lifetime. But you know what? Michael Jordan, no flies on him. That guy won 6 championships, and he waited for his dynasty to be built, partly by himself. He was laying bricks. He was building that foundation, and the players came in after. But he took his lumps. He got beat by the Celtics. Then he got beat by Detroit. Then he got beat by the Lakers until finally he beat them, and he beat everybody else. 6 championships, 0 losses. And you know what really aggravates me with these LeBron comparisons is that never mind Jordan's numbers dwarf his. And never mind, Jordan was a better defensive player. He won many more Defensive Player of the Year than LeBron did. He was a two-way, unbelievable player who gave his all every game. He didn't quit in the fourth quarter like LeBron did. You think you'd see Jordan on the bench in a close game? Did Jordan pass the ball in the fourth quarter ever? He wanted to win, so he won. When LeBron's having a bad game, he runs off. And then there's the phantom fouls. I love them. Now, most of the networks, they won't show them. He goes up, and somebody barely touches him, and he makes that face like a little kid who just ate something sour for the first time. And it's even better when he goes up, and they show it in slow motion, and he's coming down, and he goes, and they show that nobody touched him. But he still goes to the line for 2 throws because that's how this league is pre-programmed. They want him to win. I don't want him to win. I'm tired of him. Never mind that the Celtics are on the cusp. And mind you, the Celtics built it the right way. They made trades. They brought in players. They took their lumps. But come on, will you? The best thing that will happen this year is for LeBron to lose in LA, and I cannot wait. I want to see him go down. It will make me very happy. And for anybody that questions, Jordan was a better player. Deal with it.
Welcome back. It's always interesting to recall players needling other organizations. I wonder if anybody's needling Julian Edelman now after somebody needled Edelman.
You know the thing though, Ron, he's injured with a bad knee. He probably took, he took something to get better. I mean, why, I know it hurts your body, but in certain situations, can't the doctors go to the league and say, listen, he needs this for his knee to recover properly?
Well, for example, there's data now showing that platelet-rich plasma, when administered at the time of ACL surgery, even though it's not a standard therapy, it is proven beneficial in healing the ACL faster. Did Edelman get that? I have no idea. I don't know if anybody's getting it, but at least experimentally, it's shown to have value. And I'm sure if I know that, every single orthopedic surgeon for a pro sports team knows that. So you want guys who try to get better quicker. Obviously, Andy Pettit, when he said he took something a couple times to try to get better so he could help the team. It's not, from a practical standpoint, if you're taking PEDs, you're taking PEDs no matter why you're doing it. Whether it was Rodney Harrison or, well, I don't know who else, maybe a former Patriot. I mean, how many people think that pro athletes aren't taking anything? Most of them are probably taking something to try to help themselves.
Oh yeah, and they have the other products you can take, so they, it covers the situation. But the thing that gets me is when someone's injured and it's going to make them better quicker, I don't understand why they can't take it. That's what gets me.
Well, I think if you're in the zone when you're not being tested, you probably can. So that's why you don't like.
No, but I'm saying something like Edelman. It's helping him get better quicker. All right. Why can't a doctor say, listen, this is good for him to improve his legs. He needs to take it for the next 6 months, and it'll help his knee.
Well, it's because the rules are set up saying that you can't take these banned substances. It kind of flows from the Olympics, and then other organizations tend to adopt the World Doping, I think it's the World Doping Council guidelines. Now, I guess we're worried a little bit about the offensive line. Who do you think is going to be playing left tackle? Do you think it's going to be Wynn or Trent Brown?
Well, they're talking about Brown. I think the guy that can handle it is Waddle. I think they signed Waddle. Yeah. Waddle, to me, people were knocking him during the exhibition season last year. And I was watching him play, and I'm saying, he's not that bad. He's playing pretty good. Then he played right tackle for some games, and he was effective playing right tackle. Yeah. So if you have Cannon back at right tackle, you watch Waddle.
Well, I think it always gets back to Belichick saying about ability and durability, is Waddle just hasn't been able to stay healthy. Now Tooney had foot surgery in the offseason. He wasn't very good last year, but was it because he had a foot problem?
But the thing is, that's what my thinking was. It could be Brown, it could be Waddle. I would put Wynn in at left guard. You got Mason at right guard. You got Andrews at center. Cannon, you're solid all the way through there. If Wynn beats out Tooney, then you got 3 guys who are going to compete for left tackle. But I'm telling you, don't be surprised about Waddle.
Who do you think is going to have Edelman's slot role in the time that he's away?
Maybe Manuel.
Mitchell?
No. Who's the guy they
Matthews?
No, the guy they drafted in the first round, the second pick, the running back from Georgia.
Sony Michel.
Michel.
That'd be interesting.
They say he's a very good receiver.
Yeah. Well, I think of him more as, I don't know.
I mean, that's all I hear. He's a real good receiver coming out
Right.
of the backfield.
Obviously,
That kid
James
from
White.
Miami. How about the kid from Miami?
Barrios, he's kind of small.
Yeah, they're all small. We're starting from Brown.
So, and then
You go Brown, Welker, Amendola.
it seemed like McCourty's brother wasn't getting the reps at first-team cornerback opposite.
No, he's not going to make it. He's not that good.
Yeah.
I think Jones is going to. He's good. Not the Jones from Alabama, the other
Right.
one. Is it
Jonathan Jones.
Jonathan Jones. I think he may end up winning that battle. I mean, they're going to be solid in the backfield. I mean, linebacker, again, you got to hope Hightower's healthy.
Right. It seems like they're so vulnerable to tight ends and receivers out of the backfield.
Well, you got Van Noy, who had a pretty good year last year. You got Hightower.
Well, they drafted these 2 linebackers, Sam and
Leighton. Yeah, they were late
with an
picks.
odd name. McWarton or whatever his
I think
name is.
defensive end, they could be real strong. They could be a huge surprise with that defensive line.
Yeah, we'll see. It's always, it's hard to bet against them because there's just been so strong in the division.
Gronk better get his head together. Gronk and Brady are really aggravating me this summer.
Well, you sort of say, well, what made Brady great is his willingness to sacrifice for the team and his willingness to work extra hard with young players, with everybody else to make them better. So if you're all on board with Brady for doing that, then if he stops doing it, then how can you still be all on board with what he was?
Kraft has got to be really upset with him. Kraft told Belichick that he wants Brady to be the number one
they ran
quarterback,
the kid out of town.
who could have been a
obviously.
great, you don't know yet,
Right.
but could have been a star for the next 10 years. And then Brady pulls what he pulled this summer. I would be so upset if I was Kraft.
If Garoppolo were here, do you think that?
No.
Of course
There's no
not.
way. He was the only quarterback in football that didn't show up. Every second-string quarterback and every starter showed up, except for Brady, in all of football. I mean, that's a disgrace what he pulled. And then I told you, then he's over there with the prince or whoever.
Well, put it this way: if somehow the Patriots fall apart, or Brady has a bad year, then Brady's the one who's set up to take the fall.
The fans are going to hate him. They're going to turn on him so fast.
There was a statistic today from, I think it was Pro Football Focus, that the Patriots were 77% proficient in pass blocking last year, which was 23rd in the NFL. So it didn't seem that bad, but maybe it's because Brady gets rid of the ball pretty quickly.
Oh, against Philly, they played great.
Yeah. They said that Trent Brown, the guy they got from San Francisco, was the 4th-rated offensive tackle as far as their pass blocking efficiency. So, once again, Belichick's not stupid.
Well, if they have him, then he's gonna win the job at left tackle. Then better than Solder.
Anyway. Right. So.
Wow. That offensive line may be real strong
Well,
this year.
we'd be really remiss if we didn't review some of the accomplishments of the local Melrose teams, which had a banner year. You have to give credit to a lot of different people. First of all, you want to give credit to the players who work hard, and nobody really sees how hard the players work except themselves, their teammates, and their families. Number 2, you want to credit the coaches who did a superb job working with these players, developing the players and the teams. Number 3, maybe they should have been 2, are the parents who make a lot of sacrifices. It's really expensive for the various off-season programs nowadays. I was looking at the Evolution Volleyball Elite or National team. Forget about travel or anything. The base tuition rate is $3,500.
Wow.
So that's a lot of cheese, so to speak. And then, of course, the athletic department itself with Steve Fogarty did a great job. There's a few little things. I would like to see the girls basketball team not have all their home games on Tuesdays. I think the basketball should have some games home on Friday. That's just my opinion. But they have most of the team coming back. So really, and then of course to start off, the football team wins the state championship, 3rd time's the charm.
They're probably working out right now, knowing
Probably.
that. I mean, that gym, from people I've talked to, Burlington and Melrose have the best off-season program in the Middlesex League.
Yeah, on Twitter the other day, Mr. Fogarty posted the off-season gym schedule availability. There's times that it's just available for girls, and then there's times that it's open for everyone. I think it's Monday through Thursday. So people should, it's impossible to be an outstanding high school athlete if you are not working on your body in the off-season. I'm not saying you have to play all sports in the off-season, but you've got to be able to work on your body. And they had just a fabulous program, fabulous win against Neshoba. And I mean, you were there broadcasting it. They had some terrific football games during the year. The game against Stoneham was an incredible game.
Yeah, they beat 5 undefeated teams during the year, I think. I think that's the way it ended up. I mean, that program's one of the top 10 in the state now. It's been that way for the last few years. They've been consistently one of the top teams in the Middlesex League for the last 6 years. And and you look at these kids, and then they come back the next year, and they're different ball players. It's just unbelievable what they do in the off season. The coaching staff, you talk about coaches getting better and better. Coach Morris over the years has just improved. Now he's one of the top coaches in the state.
Yeah, boys soccer went to the Division III North Finals before they lost to Watertown. Tough game over at Manning Field. Girls volleyball went to the state championship for the 4th time. Unfortunately, ran out of gas, got overpowered by Westboro, who was a very good team. So, I mean, I hear some people say, well, they had a 2-0 lead, they couldn't bring it home. What does that say about the team? I say, if you were there, you saw that Melrose didn't lose the game. Westboro won the game.
How about our daughters? How many years ago?
Oh.
They had a 2-0 lead.
Yeah. So.
And they lost because a dumb hit the net.
Yeah, or not. We'll never know. But they have a lot of players coming back. A lot of players, I'm sure, playing in the off season, and they had a lot of young players on junior varsity who were coming along too. It was kind of interesting. I was reading a book called Thinking Volleyball, and it's written by a coach who was the head coach at University of Minnesota women. And he said, we had a really terrific team. We were 30-4. We were in the top, I think, 11 of the U.S. And they went over to Japan to play the Japanese college teams. He said, first we go over to watch their practice. He said, they're like machines. They don't stop. They go fast, fast, fast. The coach is just yelling at them. They're relentless. And he said, so we play the Japanese 4 Japanese college teams. In sets, we go 0-42.
Wow.
So anyway, they interview the coach. He said, how often do you practice? He says, we missed 2 days last year. Normally we practice 10 hours a day.
Wow.
And he says, why did you miss 2 days? He says, one day it was a national holiday. The other, I was sick of the team. So anyway, so then they said they played high school teams in Japan. He said, well, we went 8-3 against the high school teams. So he just said, the Japanese players play relentlessly fast. And he said, Cuba. He said, all they do is they work on spiking. 3-hour practice, 2 hours and 45 minutes on spiking. So they said, they just run up to the net, jump as high as they can and slam the ball down. He says, that's who they are.
That's what those coaches said they do that we had on a couple of years ago.
Yeah. So he says, it reflects our culture. We're flamboyant, we're aggressive, that's how we play. And then the American coach said, well, Americans try to do this hybrid of the other, but says in America it's about what you can do as an individual over the team. He says, whereas in these other cultures like Cuba or Japan, it's all about the team. There's no, like, you're the individual star, you're recognized as a star, but how the team does is really what counts. But anyway, so volleyball team, I presume, will be great. And the winter, you had girls hockey with the best record they've had, 17 wins, really did a super job. They had girls basketball, which won 2 games, almost got to the North sectional final, so they did exceptionally well. And then wrestling was a superpower. They won the Division II North. I think they finished second in the state, and they had 3 state champions with Hunter Adrian and Isaac Seed and Sean Herbert. So, I mean, wrestling just seems like they're getting stronger and stronger.
Sports in Melrose has been unbelievable lately.
And then in the spring sports, girls lacrosse won the Freedom Division, got to the playoffs. Boys lacrosse was at times ranked in the top 6 in the state.
What happened to them against Reading, though?
Well, I think somebody said that
they lost by like 6 scores, right? What they call them goals?
Yeah, somebody said they had trouble getting their offense going. They had 3 high school All-Americans, I think Matt Rocha and Cam Rosie and Jack Wells, who was Globe and Herald All-Scholastic, as well as high school All-American. So great programs. Girls 100-meter relay, 4x100 relay won the state championship. So what an incredible performance by so many different athletes in so many different sports. And
how did baseball do? They made the tournament.
I think they made the tournament.
I think they won 1 game.
Yeah,
softball team made the tournament too, didn't they?
Mm-hmm. I believe I think softball had a new coach and made the tournament. So,
I mean, talk about a real sport, baseball. I joke around with the people in work all the time about it, even though baseball's starting to aggravate me. I said there's 3 real sports. There's basketball, baseball, and football.
Did you read I think the article said that over half of Tommy John surgery done in the United States is being done on high school kids?
Really?
Yeah. So
they're overthrowing.
I guess so. You know, but I guess that, you know, usually when they come back with the rehab, they throw harder than they did before. But even then, the graft eventually will fail too.
But you watch guys like Price and Sale pitch. No wonder why these high school kids are hurting their elbows, because every pitch they come across and they snap their elbow. I mean, I used to teach coming over the top, and mostly your shoulder, and it's not your elbow. You're coming over the top and with a nice form.
Sale has a really tough delivery. It's you know, I don't know if he's had at University of Alabama. Does biomechanical analysis to try to tell you if you're doing anything that might lead to injury. So, so that's an option for pitchers to do that. I don't know if he's done that. I read somewhere the other day that single sport athletes have a 68% higher chance of being injured, which makes sense because you're using the same muscles all the time.
But the thing is, if you watch pitches like Sabathia, guy like him, you watch Tanaka, and then you watch Severino for the Yankees. Severino has a great delivery. Great delivery. He doesn't snap his elbow like it's Seal.
Well, look at one of the all-time underappreciated Yankees who grew up throwing rocks at motorcycles, David Wells. I mean, he was not in great athletic condition, but he had a good arm.
But you can tell by their delivery.
Yes.
It's not that I worry, but I say Seal is one guy he's got to watch out.
No, absolutely.
And,
you know that
Price.
Sale's got another option year next year, I think at $13 million, and after that he's going to get $30 million a year from somebody. And you say like Lackey, is he going to have an ACL right away, or a shoulder, who knows. But, you know, that's the nature of sports and injury. I've enjoyed being with you tonight. I'm Ron Sen.
And I'm Ralph LaBelle, and thank you for watching Let's Talk Sports.